everybody. Welcome back to this studio vlog if I haven't welcomed you yet in March. Today is March 12th and the oddness that is this time continues. The first quarter of 2024 has been super challenging, to be honest. I just don't feel like it has gone how I hoped, or I don't know if I have a lot of expectations for like periods of time the same way I used to anymore. But what's definitely happened is that I've just been dealing with a lot of sickness in myself and in my kids, and it's kind of thrown me for a loop. We leave on Monday for our trip to Hawaii. So March is not really a month of a lot of art making. And I knew that from the beginning of the year. I did get a lot done in February, despite the fact that it felt very disjointed. I think that's the key here, is that everything feels very disjointed. There's no flow, which is what I was trying to establish, and what I wanted to establish this quarter was my goal was finding flow, and that hasn't really happened because there's been so many starts and stops, and I know that's a normal life phenomena, so I'm trying to accept that maybe that's just the reality going forward, is that there's going to be lots of starts and stops. There's not going to be a flow right now. It's just not possible to have a flow in the stage of life that I'm in. And that's a lot to do with the schedules. My kids' schedules change a lot now because they, one's in high school, one's going to be in high school, and their activities affect us a lot more. And then we've also made this big commitment as a family to be more active and to have more exercise. And I've just found that the movement, like making sure you're getting enough movement in a week, it takes up all your time. It's a really time consuming thing. And I think that's why so many people don't get enough movement, because they don't have time. And they're working and they're doing all these other things, and they don't have time to go to the gym and go to yoga and do all these activities to make sure that they're getting enough movement in their lives. So it's it's been a bit of a shaky time for me mentally, mostly mentally and emotionally, just feeling that I can't get it together. I can't, and I mean, it is what it is, right? Like this is reality of life. You try something, you try to establish something, you try to feel like you've got things together, and then that might or might not work. So that is just part of life, right? For everybody. So that's where I am right now. I have a lot to do to get ready for the May Art Studio Tour. That is my main objective right now. And my secondary objective is looking for venues for the River Cloud work. And my River Cloud work will be shown at the Art Studio Tour. And so I'm finalizing its little details, the sound part details, and I ordered a plinth, which fingers crossed it's the right thing when it arrives, to rest the book on so people can look at it with more ease, and it can be more presented, just more professionally looking. And I would really like to find a residency for this year, but that is kind of being pushed back a little bit for me, because I feel like I can spend a lot of time researching and finding a residency, or I can spend time researching and finding venues for River Cloud. And I'm also looking for venues for Clocking In. The Clocking In project is also still going on. It ends the registration ends at the end of March, and then I'm hoping to get all the artworks back by the end of April, or that they're in the mail by the end of April. And that's actually taken up a lot of my time, and I'm going to be doing another workshop around that. And it's been good. It's been a really good opportunity. It's gotten lots of conversations happening, a lot of networking with other artists and locally, which has been great. But I'm really aware of how much of my time I have been putting towards this project, and I'm ready to shift that now. I feel like, you get to a certain point and you realize, okay, this has taken this many hours. This is obviously unpaid labor, which is what the whole project is about. And then you reach a maximum and you feel like, okay, I've done this. I'm ready to move on to the next stage of this project now, because, it's had its moment, and now I'm ready to devote my admin hours, because I only have so many of those, to a different aspect of my art career. So, so just balancing out all that time. And I've also been kind of maybe it is avoidance, I'm not sure. But my main body of work, the big project that I really wanted to devote a lot of time to this year, is not getting that time. And that is because I decided to make this other work, which is going to be kind of my commercial based work for the year. So the work that I have available for sale, the work that the main body of work I'm showing at the art studio tour. So I think this is worth it. It's kind of an experiment, to be honest, to see if it's successful in terms of sales, and then see if that is something that I should devote 3 to 4 months a year doing, is making a smaller body of work that will be more viably commercial, and then continue working on my bigger body of work that's more of it's not a body of work for selling necessarily, it's a body of work for showing and ideas and concept. So the problem is, whenever I do this, I realize that I am not getting that other work done. And so I did run into a big snafu, which if you've watched my other studio vlogs, about, which is that I worked on a piece for months and then realized it was wrong and I couldn't fix it and I had to abandon it. And I think there was a bit of sadness in that to me, and a getting over that, which I've been doing. And then I came up with the concept evolved and changed into something that seems more focused and more refined. And so I'm really excited about that. But I'm also feeling intimidated slightly by that switch, and making another mistake, maybe? I'm not sure. It's just going to mean me pushing through something, and I think I might try to push through and start on it once I get back from Hawaii. So, because I have a 2-day studio day planned with my friend Dorothy once we're back from Hawaii. So anyway, I've talked for a long time. That's my little update for you for March. And I will check in again when I have more to share. Good morning, everybody. It is Friday, Good Friday, March 29th, and I'm in the studio space today, back from Hawaii, feeling very motivated to work. Had a bit of a revelation while I was on vacation about motivation and pushing myself, and how I feel like I'm ready to move out of a kind of more relaxed, looking for flow attitude around my work, and into a okay, you're gonna do 5 hours a day, 4 days a week, you're gonna do this, and you're not gonna let any of the excuses like I don't have a permanent studio and things like that get in the way. So yeah, that's kind of where I am right now. And maybe that was just the reality of the winter that I had, where I just didn't, like, I was trying to get on top of things, but there was illnesses and just these blocks in my head. And I think they are still there to some degree as well. I'm still working through them. I'm still figuring out where they're coming from, and how they're hindering my progress, but I'm still making progress. Things are still happening. So I'm just gonna set up my space, and I'll be here today and tomorrow. And that'll probably be the rest of my studio time for March. Sunday, actually in this space as well, we have our community pancake breakfast, which we do every year for our complex. And then I'm going to be trying to finish a application for a show. So right down to the wire. Sunday is the last day, the deadline day. Normally I wouldn't leave it that late, but because we were on vacation, I just didn't get to it before we left. And yeah, this is the reality for me right now. Trying to just crystallize and focus. I feel like I've had a good amount of family time. I'm still seeing friends, chatting, doing family stuff. The clocking in for Unpaid Labor Project is wrapping up. The deadline to sign up is Sunday. So I feel like, I don't have to keep the there will still be admin for that project for months to come, but at least this initial phase is going to be wrapping up, which I'm happy about. So yeah, that's where we are. I will check in with you later. I will film as I see fit for what I'm working on. I am going to be doing some handwork today, finishing up the four pieces together, has a very strange poly something, for 4 pieces that are going to hang together. Working on that, working on the drawings for my Native Invader piece that I'm working on right now. I need to get the scale of the objects correct. So I'm gonna be working on that. I'm gonna be cutting squares, finishing up the cutting of the squares for the quilt project that I'm working on in the gray. I think I'm just gonna finish up the gray today. And I'm gonna do some reading, and I'm gonna do some thinking and like planning out April. And yeah, that's the plan. So I'll check in later. Hey everybody, so I just wanted to check you in on where I am with the quilt now. So I have finished all of the 324 shape. These were 2 inches by 3.5 inches. And so those are all done. And then I also cut 18 of 36 of these. So the thing about this quilt is that I'm not doing the same fabric for all of the triangles. So I need to find something that's similar in tone to this though, because I don't want to use like a lighter purple beside a darker purple. So I need to find something similar in tone to this to complete the 36. And then that's where I got to today on that. So I'm gonna stop that now. I'm gonna move on to doing some handwork on these and maybe some reading in a little bit. Hey everybody. Okay, so I've been in the studio now for 2.5 hours. I have started working on the face. This is based off of a mask
this little embroidery. So it's the face that goes in this trio of objects that are in the middle of this piece. So the whole concept of this body of work that I've changed is that originally I was going to have a lot of photo transfer and using like representational images in a flat black and white pictorial way. And the way that I decided to change the work was to do smaller groupings of objects that represent the stories I'm trying to tell. Also representational, but all in red and white, just keeping it with thread in red and white. And so that's what I started working on today. And then I was also, I've already shown you, I think, I was working on the last 4 river pieces, not tree, river pieces. I just needed a break from that because it's white on white and it's just feels a little bit repetitive. I am planning to get these 4 pieces done this week. There's still a bit more to put on the rivers as well. So the white on white is the background, and then there'll be some more layers of greens stitching, mostly like top decorative stitching though, not like quilt stitching, that I will finish up this week as well. So we'll see if I get to more of that this afternoon. I have a phone call at 2:00 with the Crafts Council Gallery that I have been accepted into as a shop artist. So I think this is the kind of the first contact I've had with them since being accepted, and to try to see what the next steps are and like how this process works. I have no idea. So that's kind of the next step. I'm gonna go home now. I'm gonna have some lunch. I'm gonna have the phone call, and then come back here probably by 2:30, and then probably spend another 2.5 hours, I hope, working. I also did my 100-day project writing this morning, so I did get that done as well. So it's been very productive time in the studio to basically wrap up March. I also am going to try to squeak in a submission, which I haven't worked on very much, and I'm a little nervous about it, and if I can actually pull it together, because the deadline is tomorrow. But I might push myself to do it regardless of how comfortable I feel. And also my brain is still jet lagged from Hawaii, so I'm not fully alert and awake and rested. It was really hard to get out of bed this morning. I had to drag myself out of bed at 8 o'clock. And I'm really hoping that one more sleep will push through the jet lag and will be better, because I really need to be fully engaged here this week. There's a lot to do. My to-do list is really long. I have a lot of things to do, and I feel really motivated to get at them. I think if you have a good vacation, then it usually gives you a lot of motivation. So I'm excited about that. Yeah, so that's where I'm at. I just wanted to update you. I'm gonna go have some lunch, and I don't know if I'll check in again today, but I'll definitely try to show you visually like where I leave off after this. And if I don't chat to you again before the end of this vlog, thanks so much for watching this studio vlog, and as always, I will be back in April with another one. And yeah.